Hello, my friend. Welcome back to the Mindset Check podcast. This is your host, Misha McKittrick. This is a podcast where I believe that as you take time for a mindset check, you have more power than you think you do. And where we also believe that as you surround yourself with beauty, you change your life. I'm excited to dive in with you today and take a mindset check about surrounding yourself with beauty and how important it is. In today's fashion, we're keeping it short and sweet, so let's jump right into the episode. Alice Walker said, whenever you are creating beauty around you, you are restoring your own soul. This is so good because what I really want to dive in with you today about is how restoring it is to surround yourself with beauty, how giving yourself access to what feels artistic for you can completely change your life. I can remember when I was pregnant and I was like really close to delivering. My husband painted my toenails. And back in those days, I didn't go really get my toes done. I always just did it for my own self. But when you have this great big belly in your way, that can be challenging. But I can remember that my body actually felt like a battlefield after my 4th C-section. Like it really did. Like compared to all the rest of my C-sections, I had bruises. It just felt like I had been like knocked around and I felt like a mess, really. And every single time I looked down at my toes and saw how pretty they were, it helped set everything right. And when I was telling that to one of my friends, she told me about this course that she was taking. And they were studying the evil influences between World War I and World War II. And how Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin, as their tactics and as their driving force for being able to get away with everything that they did, was to essentially control the people and break their spirits. And one of the first things that they did, the first place they started, was taking away art, taking away horticulture, literature, visually stimulating things that were pleasing in the way of taste, all of these things. And this was the very beginning of really breaking their spirits. I don't know about you, but as far as like a tactic to like rule over people, if you can take something away, but maybe we never realized the power that it gave in the first place. Like you are in a place today where you have access to all of those things. No one's taking away your books. No one's taking away the art on your walls or whatever it is. Yet, are you allowing it to completely fuel you? Are you reaching towards it in a way that it actually bolsters you? I love this quote. I found it from the book Life of Pi. It says, "If we citizens do not support our artists, then we sacrifice our imagination on the altars of crude reality, and we end up believing in nothing and having worthless dreams." Ooh, that is some seriously like pungent words, right? It's so incredible. And I love the idea of kind of coming into this thought and thinking about how important it is to surround ourselves with beautiful things. Angelica Houston said, "Beautiful things comfort. They bring real clarity and ease. We have to continue to make our environments beautiful. It's sort of like a prayer. If you surround yourself with beautiful things, you have a better life, one with more oxygen." And one thing that I will say is that sometimes we tend to pull back and save, the things that can create our environment in the very best ways for company, or we save our money so that the time that it works out best for us is, whatever it is that you're making up in your mind. But when we actually make a conscious choice to surround ourselves with beauty and beautiful objects, when we make conscious choice to place things on our body that enhance our environment and our relationship to enjoyment, this brings joy and it changes our energy. So never bottle it up. Never, ever save it. Because the truth is that you're never actually going to run out of it. The more that you reach for, the more that you create, the more that you're in it, the more that it creates a pattern for your life and the way that you live. I can walk into my Aunt Rosina's house, and this is technically on my husband's side of the family, but I love this woman. And I can walk into her house and I all of a sudden feel like I've just been ignited completely, because everything that she surrounds herself with, all of the statues and the art and the books and the scent and just that feeling of warmth and goodness and creativity, the things that are ignited when I'm in her home, it brings me to a completely different space. And so this little conversation that we're having is to help drum up in you what you can dip your toe into that ignites that same thing in you, to help give you a reason to surround yourself with something really, really good. Because let me tell you, there is research. There's research to the contrary. Like if you don't surround yourself with beautiful things, what actually happens to our soul, like for a lack of, for a really expressive way to say it, it's that we're doing a crime against our soul, right? Our senses are like trying to guide us, but we're refusing to listen. And so we have what we're doing is we're numbing that awareness and our self-understanding. And it creates a mismatch in the form of really heavy feelings, right? Like anxiety. And it creates us suddenly feeling okay and satisfied with ugly environments. This goes for the inner side, like the inner world for ourselves, and the outer, right? But when we decide to make our space and everything around us beautiful, the science actually is that we release different chemicals. When we encounter something aesthetically pleasing, it activates the brain's reward system. It triggers a release of dopamine, and this associates our brain with pleasure and motivation. It also lights up the areas of the brain that are associated with empathy and social cognition when we perceive beauty. Okay, and what this actually does for us is it allows a sense of connection with the object, with the people who share the similar interest. And then once that energy is flowing, we just have more to give in life. It really uplifts our soul. Throughout all of history, there's different cultures that actually associate beauty with the divine, right? Allowing us to be in a deep sense of peace and gratitude and renewed appreciation about life and about all the things. So what we're really talking about is, as we surround ourselves with beauty, it completely changes our life. And so if you look at your interests and the things that really would make a big difference for you, you can start to take apart the places where it might be more important for you to reach towards, right? So it's not like everything around you has to be beautiful and perfect. It's kind of like how, after I had the baby and my body was a battlefield and there was that one, beautiful thing that I could look to, that those toes just made me feel really pretty. And so sometimes if we can have a few things, a few areas of our life that enhance and enrich our perception of taking in beauty, all of a sudden it sets all of that into motion, all of the good chemicals and all of the good feelings. And so look to the different areas that you really appreciate. Okay, so we have like visual, physical, literary, horticulture, music, right? If you love to travel, maybe you adorn your home with objects from, your travels to help remind you as a visual representation of those things. If you love gemstones and jewelry, maybe you choose to wear gorgeous earrings or necklaces. And then when you're wearing them, you're consciously having that appreciation run through you. Maybe you love being connected to nature. So get out in nature more, but also bring nature into your home. Maybe plants, maybe animals, right? Immerse yourself in beauty. Maybe you put gorgeous mountain views in a picture frame on your wall. Another idea that I love for people who really love nature is to change a photo out in your home that reflects the season that we're in, right? So each photo, so you say you choose 4 seasons, and each photo is something really beautiful. It's a landscape that represents the season that we're in, right? Like changing leaves, or a snowy, beautiful landscape, or summer, or spring, whatever it is. Just allow that to be something that you are consciously choosing, that you're consciously recognizing that you want more of and bringing it into your space. Maybe you buy flowers simply and intentionally to cultivate your own inspiration and happiness. You consciously are doing it. Maybe it's not the first time you've ever had flowers in your home, but you're consciously doing it to surround yourself with beauty. And it changes the whole experience. Maybe your activities are different. Maybe you go to an art show, right? And or a museum or something like that. Something that really fills you up. Or maybe you do things inside of your home differently, choosing furniture, choosing beautiful lighting, choosing studying maybe some feng shui and the flow of the way that things really feel great energetically in your home, in your space. If you spend a lot of time in your office, it's important for you to create that as a space where the energy flows and it just feels really beautiful. Maybe look to your bedroom and make the conscious choice to buy bedding that literally looks and feels so luxurious, right? Or hang something really beautiful on your wall, or surround yourself with a salt lamp or crystals or different things. Maybe you love to garden and you really make the conscious choice that your garden is going to be a really beautiful spot where you get to, partake in that therapy of working with the earth. I love this quote that says, "It's all art. The way you laugh, your smile, your wardrobe, the way you decorate your home, the way you dance, your energy, your collection of books, and the way you write, your playlists, your grocery lists, your friendships. It's all art. Your whole life is art." It's all in the details. Our every day is an opportunity to transform mundane into a contemplative encounter that fuels your ideas, that fuels the energy that's literally running through your body. You have an opportunity to make art out of how you experience life. It affects your mood. It affects your attitude towards life. The beauty of the everyday objects that you surround yourself with can determine how you actually perceive the quality of your life. That's your whole experience. That's your entire existence. So don't wait to make things beautiful for company or for any other, specific reason other than it's just for you. It's simply for you to create and cultivate beautiful surroundings. So I hope this episode is a tiny little bit of a check-in for you, just to say, where can you enhance the beauty in your life to where you begin to see it as not just like one pleasant experience, but it's a crucial element for your well-being, to be able to foster a sense of wonder and connection and creativity. And what I love the most is to actually fill your life with wonder, to simply allow yourself to be in awe, right? So that going back to the very beginning with the World War II story and taking those things away, and the way that your spirit can be broken by taking away all of the beauty around you. Let's make our spirits soar by surrounding and bringing more beauty into our life. Be intentional about it. I hope that you can see in this episode that as you do so, you have more power than you think you do. All right, my friend, I hope that you felt a little bit of inspiration from this episode to make your mark and to make it beautiful. If you love today's episode, feel free to share it with a friend. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the Mindset Check podcast. Before I leave you today, I want to share another quote with you. It simply says, "I came to reflect upon the times I had felt the most inspired, and where I have felt that the whole of my conscience was the most awake and receptive. As I connected the dots, I realized it all, at any time, had to do with beauty. Beauty to be absorbed with the soul." Until next time, my friend.